Welcome back to Grammar Grade 9. This is Unit 5, Lesson 40, and it's the finale of our unit on verbs. Today we're looking at something called the voice of a verb, active voice and passive voice. It sounds fancy, but the whole idea comes down to one simple question. Is the subject doing the action, or is the action being done to it? Once you can hear that difference, you'll write with more punch and more control. Let's dig in. Let's start with a simple but powerful idea. Every action verb has something called voice. Voice tells you about the subject of the sentence. Is the subject doing the action, or is the action being done to it? When the subject does the action, we call that the active voice. When the subject receives the action instead, we call that the passive voice. So the whole question of voice comes down to this. In a given sentence, who is doing the action and who is getting acted upon? Let's look at the active voice first, because it's the one you already use all the time. In the active voice, the subject performs the action. Take this sentence. The gardener planted the roses. The gardener is our subject, and it's the doer, the one taking action. Planted is the action itself, and the roses are the target. They're what gets planted. Notice the natural order here. Subject, then verb, then object. The doer comes first, right up front where it's easy to spot. Now watch what happens in the passive voice. Here the action is done to the subject instead of by it. Same idea, flipped around. The roses were planted by the gardener. The roses are the subject now. Were planted is the action reaching them. And the real doer, the gardener, comes in at the end, after the word by. Look closely. This time, the roses aren't doing anything. They're on the receiving end. The planting is happening to them. The gardener is still who did it, but the doer got moved to the back, tucked behind that little word, by. That by is your clue. In a passive sentence, if the doer is named at all, it usually follows by. And sometimes the doer is dropped entirely. You can just say, the roses were planted, and never say who did it. Either way, here's the headline. The subject now receives the action, and the doer has slipped to the back. So how do you actually build a passive verb? There's a fixed recipe, and once you know it, you'll spot the passive voice instantly. Every passive verb is a form of the verb be plus a past participle. That's it. Some form of be, then a past participle, like planted, broken, or written. And here's the handy part. This recipe works in any tense. You just change the form of be. In the present, it's is planted. In the past, was planted. And in the future, will be planted. The past participle, planted, stays put. Only the be changes to move you through time. So if you ever want to know the tense of a passive verb, look at the form of be and let it tell you. Now let's put active and passive side by side so you can see the swap with your own eyes. Watch the subject. In the active version, the gardener planted the roses. The gardener sits in the subject's seat. But in the passive version, the roses were planted by the gardener. The roses take over that subject's seat, and the gardener gets pushed to the back. See how the subject and the doer trade places? In active, the doer is the subject. In passive, the receiver is the subject, and the doer moves behind by. It's the very same event, the same gardener, the same roses, the same planting, just told from two different angles. Here's something important about style. The passive voice isn't wrong. It can add variety, and sometimes it's exactly what you want, especially when the doer is unknown or unimportant. But most of the time, the active voice is the better choice because it's more direct, livelier, and clearer. It puts the doer right up front and gets straight to the point. So when you catch a passive sentence that feels weak, You can usually make it stronger by flipping it to active. Take a passive sentence. The report was written by Mia. To turn it active, just make the doer the subject. Mia wrote the report. Now Mia is sitting in the subject's seat, and the sentence is shorter, punchier, and clearer about who did what. The trick is always the same. Find the real doer and move it into the subject's seat. Let's boil the whole lesson down to a quick check. Step 1. Find the verb, then ask who is doing that action. Step 2. If the subject is the one doing it, you're in the active voice. The doer is the subject. Step 3. If the subject is receiving the action instead, and you spot a form of be plus a past participle, often with a by phrase, then you're in the passive voice. And one last piece of advice to carry with you. When you have a choice, prefer the active voice. It's clearer, more direct, and it keeps your writing lively. All right, let's try some together. Let's practice. In this first set, I'll show you a sentence, and you decide whether it's in the active voice or the passive voice. Ask yourself, is the subject doing the action or receiving it? Look for a form of be plus a past participle. That's your sign of the passive. Pause the video and try each before I reveal the answer. The mechanic repaired the engine. Who's the subject? The mechanic. And is the mechanic doing the action? Yes, the mechanic does the repairing. The subject is the doer, and there's no form of be in front of the verb. So this sentence is active. The song was recorded by the band. Look at the verb, was recorded. That's a form of be, was, plus the past participle recorded. And there's the little word by, pointing to the real doer, the band. The subject, the song, is receiving the action, not doing it. So this sentence is passive. The results will be announced tomorrow. The verb is will be announced. There's a form of be itself, joined to the past participle announced. The subject, the results, isn't doing anything. The announcing is being done to them. Notice the doer isn't even named here, which is perfectly normal for the passive. So this sentence is passive. Nicely done. In this second set, every sentence is passive, and your job is to turn it into the active voice. Remember the trick. Find the real doer, the one after by, and make that doer the subject. Pick the choice that says who did what, plainly and directly. Pause and try each before I answer. The cake was baked by Grandma. Who's the real doer? Grandma. She's the one after the word by. To go active, we make Grandma the subject and let her do the verb. Grandma baked the cake. Notice we don't want the cake baked Grandma, which changes the meaning entirely. The correct active version is Grandma baked the cake. The window was broken by the storm. The doer here is the storm. It's what comes after by. So we lift the storm into the subject's seat. The storm broke the window. Short, direct, and it names who did the breaking. The active version is the storm broke the window. The winning goal was scored by Elena. Find the doer. That's Elena, sitting after the word by. Move her to the front as the subject and let her take the action. Elena scored the winning goal. That's the active voice. Clear, direct, and it puts the doer first. The answer is Elena scored the winning goal. Let's gather up what we've learned about voice. In the active voice, the subject performs the action. The gardener planted the roses, with the doer right up front. In the passive voice, the subject receives the action instead. It's built from a form of be plus a past participle, and the doer, if it's named at all, follows the word by. Both voices are correct, but the active voice is usually more direct and livelier. So when you have the choice, reach for it. And to convert a passive sentence to active, just find the real doer and make it the subject. That wraps up Unit 5. Wonderful work. I'll see you in the next lesson.